Your reaction?
Yeah, so I agree with Schmidt that it's dangerous, and also these things are inaccurate by the Republicans. I mean, totally. I mean, first of all, wasn't Trump supposed to be reinstated by August or something? That's what he said. He's had more delays than like the Postal Service under Louis DeJoy. I mean, Republicans first predicted that Donald Trump would win, then that the Supreme Court was going to intervene on his behalf, then that Biden would last 10 days, then he was supposed to return on March 4th and the like. I mean, I've had more fake outs than Major League Baseball. It's ridiculous. So I think one part is just the inaccuracy. It is just a complete, total lie. Then the other part Schmidt's citing is the danger. I mean, this Arizona recount, what a waste of money. They spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and it turned out at the end of it, even after they hired like a biased Republican-leaning conspiracy firm to do the recount, that Biden got more votes under the recount than Trump did, more than the initial count. And here's what I think the danger is. It's that these kinds of insinuations about elections are proliferating. And so you've had recounts demanded and trying to get voter records in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, and Texas, and all sorts of places that undermine our faith in the election system. And this is not about, looking back. This is about Republicans looking forward and saying, in the next time, can they sow that kind of doubt and maybe just turn a few people's votes, a few key people, and then hand the election to the Republicans, even though they wouldn't have won it in a democracy. What Schmidt's saying is right. We don't have a Republican Party that's an anti-Democrat party. The Republican Party has become an anti-democracy party.
Yeah, that's an important and chilling point, which people like Steve Schmidt, who worked at the highest levels of the Republican Party, and people like yourself, who have a legal lens, are really warning the nation about what people want to do about that. And that's against the backdrop of a bunch of races to be the top elections official that we've covered that have now partisan Republican candidates running basically in the mode of the big lie. And what does that mean? So it's a lot to keep an eye on. Neil, good to have you back here. I want to remind everyone, you can always go to msnbc.com/opening arguments, where we actually host a page where you can just find Neil's analysis, this segment, and also past election segments that are great tutorials. So a reminder about that. I want to turn to some other legal news tonight, and it is significant. The very famous singer, R. Kelly, convicted today after a 7-week, very serious sex trafficking trial with a host of allegations. He now faces up to life in prison. He was convicted today on all counts. And that includes serious felonies like racketeering and violating an interstate anti-sex trafficking law that's designed to protect potential victims. Prosecutors had accused the singer of being a, quote, serial sexual predator who abused young women as well as underage girls and boys for over 2 decades. The New York Times reports Kelly sat motionless as this guilty verdict was read today. His defense attorney saying he was, quote, shocked. Prosecutors also discussing what they called the bravery of these victims who came forward.
To the victims in this case, your voices were heard and justice was finally served. This conviction would not have been possible without the bravery and resilience of R. Kelly's victims.
That is a view of the prosecutor. They, of course, have a perspective on the case, but we want to make sure you understand it's really rooted in facts and testimonial evidence, because this exhaustive trial featured often heartbreaking testimony from 45 witnesses. The jury deliberating 9 hours before deciding to convict what is now obviously a quite disgraced superstar singer. This is not the first time that Kelly has been on trial. He was actually acquitted of related child pornography charges back in 2008. That's an update on a significant case there. We're going to fit in a break, but when we come back, as promised, the legendary journalist Bob Woodward is my special guest on the beat tonight. We're going to get into his new reporting and the future of the Republican Party in a time where Trump makes Nixon look, well, like a lot better than he looked at the time. But first, we have a twist in the Matt Gaetz sex crime probe with that and Bob Woodward coming up tonight on the beat.